Hey, it's me, Byron Nominal Howitzer. Two-time winner of the Webbies, one-time winner of the WebXs. Oof! We've got a lot of movie stuff to talk about today. So, let's just get on with it straight away, immediately. Straight to that. After a word from our sponsor. Dollar Dogs. Only the finest mechanically recollected chicken and pork in tasty, meaty tubes. I personally enjoy them. Delivered to your door every day. Perfect, hot or cold. Perfect with or without beans. Have it while you're watching the TV or standing in line for the labour exchange. Any way you want. Dollar Dogs. They're great. Buy them. Please. This video was made possible by Dollar Dogs, as without a sponsor, I probably wouldn't have bothered. Now, before we start, I'm sure we're all looking forward to the boxing event of the century. Jake Paul, legitimate boxer, versus the champion of the Eastern Republics, Sedite Medved. I was lucky enough to catch up with Medved's trainer last week on Skype, and here's a snippet from that call and the video I made of that call. So, Mr. Lamentov, how confident are you in your fighter?
I am very confident.
Well, I hear Jake Paul's been training very hard. What makes you so sure that Medved will win?
He is a bear.
Also, be sure to check out my spoiler-free review of Mortal Kombat. Ooh, does it hold up? Is Sub-Zero in it? What about Liu Kang? What do I think of the 90s aesthetic? I'm not going to tell you because you're going to have to watch the video. And a big shout out to Warner Brothers for sponsoring me there. What I especially love about Hollywood is that they are constantly refining the formula to give us pure entertainment. And I don't think that's better exemplified than in the masterful Zack Snyder recut, only 80 minutes long, of 2001: A Space Odyssey. It really cuts a lot of the crap out. Old movies from La La Land were often filled with superfluous photography and, sin of sin, people wedging in their beliefs and trying to jam in metaphorical meanings. Someone tried to tell me the other day that Star Wars is an analogy of the Vietnamese-US War. No. It's set in a galaxy far, far away. It's got a princess in it. Who's that meant to be? Ho Chi Minh? I had to watch something the other day called Larry Biden or something. It was meant to be a war movie, but then I find out it's really about people or something. They can't really decide if the main character, Larry, is a dickhead or not, and I didn't really find any of it very funny. Boring. Every film is about people. People? I see people all the time. What I don't see is explosions and spaceships. Meaning. What was the meaning of The Shining then? Don't get snowed in and go mental? And honestly, I'm glad this has been eliminated from the medium. It's really selfish for writers and directors to try and make a film that is about something, really about something else. If I wanted to think, I'd read a book. And I would not read a book. And finally, Hollywood is catching up to this. Whereas big releases used to be very gimmicky, Rain Man, The Thin Red Line, finally they've realised it's all about entertainment. I like Spider-Man, but what if it was made this year, with actors that I know? That's what I want. And I think the cracking of this formula is best exemplified by Jon Favreau's masterpiece, The Revelator, which I got to see early this month before release because I am an important film critic. Do you think important or respected? Because I am an important and respected film critic. Set in the not-too-distant future, Chris Hemsworth plays the titular The Revelator, Jack Axel. But you don't know that at first unless you've seen the trailer or any of the promotional material. It starts by following Special Forces Unit Liberty Patriot 1, stationed in Islamistan. There are lots of squad members, but one of them is played by Leonardo DiCaprio, so you know he's going to be important. I was almost disappointed at first because the first 2 minutes is just dialogue, soldiers shooting shit type of thing, although the writing is fantastic. Leonardo's character, Aloy Sent, says something vaguely sexist but not explicit, but then Jack's like, "Oi, no," and puts him straight. Then the big tough sergeant comes in and tells everyone there's a situation. Soon the squad is deploying to the US Embassy in the capital, Muslimabad, under siege by terrorists. Jack and crew are tasked with rescuing Madame Ambassador Monica Tromboni. That's right, sexism put down, and then a woman ambassador? Tell me that's not good writing. Anyway, spoilers start now. In short, the situation gets out of control. Black Sergeant, not worth mentioning the name of, is killed, and Jack takes command. But then his best friend, Aloy Sent, turns out to be a coward. Later on, we found out he bought his way into Spec Ops, so that makes sense. But we don't know that yet, and it's Leonardo, so it's quite a surprise. Aloy Sent comes back to the US, hailed as a hero, but Jack Axel comes back as a disgrace. Then we get a montage, and don't worry, it's not one of those boring montages set to one piece of music. It's set to 7 pieces of music, and shows Aloy Sent cashing in on his fame, and in contrast, Jack Axel being kicked out of the military and using his pension to become an alcoholic. But not the sort of alcoholic that goes ranting and raving at staff at Family Dollar. He's still buff, he just likes to go on benders. Now, I know you might be thinking, oh no, this sounds like a sad film about people who are slowly dying. I don't want to see that. I'm living it. Don't worry. This film will not make you feel bad about yourself, your situation, your beliefs, or your ignorance. It's great. Fast forward a few years, and we see Jack accidentally crash the wedding of billionaire Archibald Barron's selfish nephew's wedding, where things almost go wrong, but then Jack meets Archibald Barron himself, played by Lance Henriksen. Which is great because he's in Aliens, and I like that. Archibald recognises Jack Axel's badassery and hires him as a bodyguard and VR tester. Things look hunky-dory, Jack's back on his feet, and so on and so forth, etc. He lives on his own, but he's not lonely. There's an elderly neighbour he helps out, just getting up the stairs, things like that, not like changing catheters or anything. And he also owns a cat or a small dog, I can't quite remember which. Because this is the future, the combustion engine has been banned, but we see Jack fix up his classic car, even though several people throughout the film say that he can't legally drive it on the roads. Then Aloy Sent comes back on the scene in a business meeting where Archibald's business is meeting Sent's business, I think. It's not very clear. We learn, through some of the best flashbacks I've ever seen, that on returning home, Aloy Sent was awarded the Medal of Honor, became Man of the Year, and soon after, his father mysteriously fell off Freedom Tower 1, allowing Aloy to inherit his punch card business. Fast forward to the future. The movie's present. Did I spit then? We get even more well-drawn characters. There's Sophie Barron, daughter of Archie, funny, quirky, big boobs for her body type, and take that, sexists out there, she's only a bloody doctor of technology. If you take the time to go through the credits, you can actually see for yourself that 3 of the 17 writers were women, and I think it really shows. Also, there's Wes Smith, who is black, and wears a computer on or embedded into his wrist. He's funny too, and educated, but not at all threatening. Take that, racists! Anyway, Aloy Sent has turned his father's punch card business into a massive international corporation that makes robots and cars, and even its own cryptocurrency, Centcoin. Aloy Sent uses his cryptocurrency to crash the economy. I'm not sure how, but we see lots of typing, and fat nerds in a dark room who all get their comeuppance at the end without putting up a fight. Great! Archibald Barron is killed early on, which is fine because Lance Henriksen is great, but he is very old and can't be bothered to act anymore, so I'm glad they could get all his stuff done in a weekend, and it was nice of them to let him sit for most of it. It's very sad. This bit has lots of baddie henchman Ludwig Dorfberg too. He's cool. Sent thinks he has the upper hand because all the cars now are digital or cyber or whatever, so the police are just standing around doing nothing. But wait, remember who has an old, not digital or cyber or whatever car? Jack Axel. And Jack Axel crashes the terrorist robot party and rescues Sophie Barron, and they drive off. And that's just about it for story. That all happens in the first 30 minutes, and then Jack and Sophie spend the rest of the film driving about a bit. Ultimately, they've got to get to Aloy Sent, before he gets to the New York Stock Exchange to do something or other. I'm not very clear what, because it's very financial and technical, and it's very hard to understand, which I think shows very intelligent writing. Ludwig Dorfberg ends up getting thrown down an enormous macerator toilet, and at the end, Axel and Cent duke it out in massive mech suits. And Cent is definitely killed. Or is he? Oh! Better sit through the 15-minute credit crawl set to Shania Twain to find out. 10 out of 10, it gets my nominal howitzer seal of approval. Go. Now, remember that my job is obviously dependent on getting access to premieres and appeasing fans, but I can assure you that I am 100% impartial. I'd really like to thank the executives at Disney for allowing me access to the premiere, and I would especially like to thank the executives at Disney Network for both representing me and hooking me up with some very fine sponsors. Remember, need a meaty log? You can't do better than a dollar dog. Good night. Take care. Ignorant.